Welcome back, everyone. I can't wait to talk about this. Women are more in control of their finances than ever, but apparently they're just about as scared as men when it comes to planning for retirement. Here to help is personal retirement coach Barbara Walker-Green. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Melissa.
I am so glad you're here because this is almost every friend I know. And we're all sort of in that same place of why can't we be comfortable with retirement? And a lot of us rely on our spouses to kind of help set the plan and to make sure that we're okay.
Right.
What's the deal with this uncomfortable thing?
Well, I think women just tend to rely on their spouses to handle the financial aspects because we get so busy with the everyday life, you know, taking care of the kids, making sure the house is okay, doing all the things that, you know, are household type situations. And I know that's changing a lot because more and more women are professional women. We're out there, we're working, we're determining our own destinies, but we still tend to rely on our spouses.
We're bringing home the bacon, but we just don't know how to save it and make it all right for later. So we need to put together a plan.
Yes.
We need to get comfortable. So you're going to help us do that.
Yes, I am.
Okay, what do we do?
First of all, you need to not procrastinate. And we're all guilty of procrastination. We all tend to put things off because, again, women get so busy in the day-to-day aspects of life. But we must avoid that and get involved and just decide this is very important for me to be a part of, because at some point you're going to have to, statistically, women are going to have to take control of the finances.
Well, and it's a good time too, because first of the year it seems like you almost get a fresh start, right? So it would be a good time, maybe not this week before Christmas, but maybe really the first of the year to take control. Okay, and you say taking inventory is another good place to start. So what do you mean by that?
Taking inventory just means sitting down, and again, like you said, make that one of your New Year's resolutions to say, I'm going to sit down and we're going to sit down and I need to know those passwords. I need to know where the money is, because a lot of women, you'd be surprised how many don't even know the passwords, where the money is, what it's invested in. So one of the things that they should do is take inventory. And there are so many financial tools on my website, which is personalwealthadvisor.com, that can get you started. Checklists are always easy. So download that checklist and get started and make it a resolution that you are going to sit down with your spouse and know where the money is.
It is such good advice. And it's got to be empowering to know that and to have that information, because you just never know what could happen and you're going to be at a complete loss if anything happened to your spouse. Save, 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 save. I know that's got to be on your list.
Save, save, save is on the list, and one of the main reasons is because statistically women live longer than men. So at some point you're going to have to be in control of that. And what I find when people come into my office, especially women, and predominantly my clients are women, and they come in and they say, you know, a lot of times when we sit down and go through their information, they have undersaved because they tend to be less aggressive. And a lot of times, again, they depend upon their husbands to do the savings.
How do you know how much to save? Isn't there a percentage of your salary that you think is a really good idea for what you save? Well,
usually, you know, one of the number one rules is pay yourself first. And I know we all heard that. But you must pay yourself first. But it's very important to sit down with a financial professional so that you can determine how much makes sense for your current lifestyle. But women must learn to save and save more aggressively, because we tend to live longer than our spouses.
And you don't want to work until you're 90. Hello.
No, you don't. No,
okay.
You don't.
You also say don't fall into the style trap.
The style trap. How do you avoid the style trap?
Oh,
you
you
the
can't,
Gucci
but
bags
we got you somehow.
But you have to. If you can't afford it, it's not in your budget, don't buy it. Leave it alone. Because again, when you're facing retirement, you want to make sure that you're going to be able to maintain your lifestyle.
And the old saying of don't keep up with the Joneses, because you really don't want to work until you're 90. And if you're buying all those things and not saving, you really may have to.
You may have to. And those things can really, really, destroy a budget.
Is that part of learning to say no, or is there even more to your concept of the word no?
There's more. There's more, because as women, we tend to have the bleeding hearts. Our kids want to go to college, so we start tapping into our retirement funds to pay for it. Don't do that. Do not use your retirement savings to fund college education. Because, you know, I'm not a real big fan of student loans, and there's other ways, but your child has a lifetime to pay for those student loans, and your retirement has to last you. So don't loan from
Moms are cringing to hear you say that, but it is so true. Okay, and we've been talking about it all morning, the fact that women still, a lot of the times, make less than men. We got to learn how to negotiate that salary.
Negotiate.
But women have a hard time with that, don't they, of saying this is what I think I'm worth, and trying to pay me
Exactly, and they should try, you know, it's very simple actually. You just sit down and say, this is what I'm worth. And negotiate your salary, be firm about it, because we are necessary in the workforce. So you're not going to be turned away all the time. But if you don't put it out there, it just won't happen, because still, statistically, women make less than
And
men.
how often do you need to be trying to negotiate that salary at a typical job?
I say going in the door, walking in the door, negotiate your salary. Don't let them dictate to you what you're worth. Negotiate your salary. And there are ranges for different types of positions, but make sure that you negotiate that
And you
salary.
probably need to do some homework too to kind of find out where everybody sits and where those salaries are, so that you don't go too far above and not get the job or lose a job.
Exactly. So you want to understand the industry and the job that you're applying for, but definitely negotiate your salary.
Okay, so let's talk again about how people can get a hold of you, because you have some great information. Give us your website one more time.
Great information. My website is personalwealthadvisor.com, and there are some very strong and powerful financial documents there, and checklists and things. And checklists seem to make things easier for you to get started.
Yes, I would agree with that. I gotta check it off. Barbara, thanks for coming in. Just excellent information to share with our viewers, and we'll put a link to that on our website too, so people can find you easily.
All right, thank you.
Good to talk to you.
All right.